This is what a Chinese would do if he's elected as mayor of Austin. Hey guys, welcome to Common Sense. I'm Dave. Today we're going to talk about what I would do if I'm elected city of Austin's mayor. There are only a few things, all right? Number one is homeless issue. My fundamental philosophy for being a mayor of the Austin, or mayor of any city, but mostly because I live in Austin, I love Austin, I'm a proud American, is we got to protect the rights of the law-abiding citizens who pay taxes. You got to protect the majority of the people. All right, that's number one. Most important thing we'll do. And one of them is homeless issue, right? Now, there's a few ways how I would eradicate the homeless issue. People say this is a complicated topic. It is, but it's also really, really simple. Because growing up, spending about 20 years in China, and I still go to China very often, you don't see homeless issue at all in China. All major cities, you go to sub-tier cities, you still don't see them. It's just gone. Like there's no homeless issue. When I was a kid, around like 1990 to 2000s, they're homeless everywhere. Everywhere on the street, and a lot of them actually just died on the street because they don't get enough food. They don't get enough nutrition. They don't have money to hospital, and just died. But why is that completely solved? How did that get solved? They're going to share a few things, okay? So I'm a very, very humane person. In fact, I have inherited assimilated into the American culture. I'm very generous as well. And then what I mean by that is we're going to offer few solutions for the homeless community. Option number one, which is mandatory rehab. Because I'm also very logical. I understand majority, I think 95% of the homeless community are drug addicts, right? But so instead of giving you an optional rehab, if we identify someone is actually just drug addict, well, it's now mandatory rehab. You have to go to rehab where you have shelter, you have food, you have air conditioning. You're not gonna take the summer sun, the actually toxic sun from outside. You're gonna be taken care of in a rehab, all right? Or maybe like a recovery facility, whatever you like to call them. Basically, if you're a drug addict, you're on the street. Well, now you're off the street. You're recovering. You're gonna be back into the society when you're completely off the addiction. Before you're off the addiction, you're gonna be staying in a rehab. And obviously, the expert will decide that. The medical expert will decide that. I'm not an expert. We'll just make sure the best of the best work over there. We'll decide whether you're fully clean and you're ready for society. The second option for the homeless society, for the homeless community, is 1 month of job training, and then they can apply for jobs across Austin fast food chains. Okay, so this is what I would do. There's a homeless shelter down 6th Street. It's actually so crazy, by the way. The most popular street where all the parties or the clubs are, it's supposed to be the coolest place Austin have to offer, is also called Dirty Six, because right down the street is a homeless shelter. And then at night, like basically behind the street of the 6th Street, you just see like a little alleyway of just zombies. It's so scary, dangerous, and also it's crazy. It's such a day and night contrast. This is not safe for most of the people, and it's extremely disgusting, right? So a lot of them, if you're not drug addict, right? I wouldn't say majority, actually, a tiny minority. If you're not drug addict, but you choose to stay homeless, or you don't choose, it's involuntary. You become homeless involuntarily because like you lost your job, you lost your home, whatever, you got abandoned. Well, this is what I'll do. 2 steps. Number one, we'll give you a 1 month job training, fully paid. You have money to pay for food, you have money to pay for training, and we'll turn the homeless shelter downtown into a job fair center. That's right. So no more homeless center downtown. It will be a job fair center, and the job fair will be geared towards the people who need help the most in the society, right? Basically, we're going to encourage all the fast food chains. By the way, they're always hiring. Anywhere you go in Austin right now, if you see like bubble tea shop, if you see like any tea shop, bakery shop, fast food chains, they're always hiring. There's not enough workforce for some reason. Well, we're going to have a facility where we train people how to apply for jobs, how to work those basic jobs, and we'll help them apply to the fast food chains. We'll send them to to help them apply for those jobs to get them back on their feet so they can eventually work, maybe get a job at Home Depot, Walmart, whatnot, and eventually rent, buy a house, and achieve the American dream. That's the second option they can choose, which is going back to the job force. And for the normal people, if they actually become involuntary homeless, you have a way out. Number 3, the third option that we'll offer, okay, is a free shuttle ticket to California. That's right. Texas is too toxic outside. Austin, literally 12 months out of the year, from my 20 years of experience living here, okay? Well, close to 20 years. There are only like 3 months you can live outside. Like you just can't live outside. It's either too cold or too hot. If you ever lived here, like a bunch of people who came from California lived here and then they moved away because it's too hot or too cold. I don't know how that's the case. In the winter, it get extreme cold. In the summer, it get extreme heat. You don't want to stay more than 15 seconds outside. It's way too hot. It's toxic. So what I'll do is we'll send you to the homeless paradise. All right. We'll send you to California where people actually welcome you with open arm there because they just elected. They just like kicked out Spencer Pratt who want to help solve the homeless problem over there. So, and I believe in election integrity. So I think people just elected in their free will to vote Spencer Pratt out of it. That means the citizens of California probably love homeless community. So we'll send you to a community where people actually welcome you more. Most importantly, it's more humane because in California, 24/7 is good weather. You can sleep anywhere and just have a great time. In Austin, you can't. In Austin, you have to like really suffer, right? And all the homeless people who understand this, who hear this, probably agree with me. It's really horrible outside. So we'll give you a free shuttle ticket, or I'm not gonna give you a ticket because people are gonna abuse that. We're gonna send shuttles, and you can take the ticket to go to California, but don't come back, right? Stay in there, and then maybe after you got out of the homeless community and then going back to society again, that's when you can come back to Texas. We will welcome you back with open arms, right? It's very, very important that you actually do go to California though, because it's very, very important that we need you there. We don't, Austin is just not good place for homeless community, which is totally true. So that's my 3 options that will be given, very humane to the homeless community, right? To get back on their feet, to cure their disease of drug addiction, and to help them find a job so they can assimilate back into society. I think those are really great. The last option, if they don't want to take any of them, is not really an option. It's just then we will send them to prison, right? And I think there's a very, very tiny minority of people like who actually don't want any of the 3 options, because those 3 options probably take like 99.9%. Just the first option to take them to the rehab to help them cure the drug addiction probably is 95%, to be honest. And then the other 2 just remain the rest. If somebody's a veteran and they had an issue and they become a homeless, they probably are just addicted to drugs, right? So majority of them will go to like a rehabs or a veteran facility to get help that they needed and then assimilate back into society. If they just can't, if they can't assimilate back and they're a veteran, we'll treat them differently because they're veterans. They have contributed towards society, and it's unfair the way how they've been treated. So that's my 3 little things that the 3 little steps how I can eradicate the homeless issue. Because if you go downtown, you go to 6th Street, you go to Lake Austin, anywhere you go, still see homeless people sleeping on the street, which is, I wouldn't say anywhere you go, it's been improved quite a bit, but it's still like bad situation. Especially go under the bridge. Oh man, like Lake Austin under the bridge just smell like piss and marijuana. That's all it smells like. It's not good. It's not good image for the city. It's not good. Okay. So like I said, part of the proposal also repurposing the downtown homeless shelter turn into a job fair to help them get jobs. Okay. Another thing that I will do is that for drinking outside of a designated area like 6th Street, or if you smoke marijuana publicly, will be punished heavily. Because right now it's already illegal to do it. It's just the police force, from what I research, are not really paying a lot of attention to majority of the casual users of marijuana, which I 100% agree. But what I would do differently is if you just can't do them in public. Now, people may say, okay, well, I go downtown 6th Street, I still drink. That should be fine, right? Yeah, it is fine. So basically in designated area, like in a club street, for example, if you go to Domain area and there's I think the Lake Rose, I forgot the street name. Basically, it's the club street as well. You can drink, out in public, not in public, but in these clubhouses, right? And then there are like rooftop clubs you can drink or whatnot. Those are all totally fine. But we can all agree there's a difference between drinking civilly and people who are called in trouble. The idea is outside of the designated area, you cannot drink or smoke marijuana. And if we find out there's heavy smell of marijuana coming from a certain area, we'll take care of it, right? Because it's more important. Yes, those people should have a right to be casual. I don't care if people use like casual drugs or whatever. It's part of the culture here, right? But what we'll do is protect the majority of the people who are law-abiding citizens, who are, whose right also need to be protected, who don't want to be smelling that or getting close to that, who need to feel safe when they're in the streets that they also pay taxes into, right? Imagine Everybody pay taxes into the public safety, public street system, and only a few people's rights protected. That's what the current system is, and I think it's unfair. So we'll take care of that. The second proposal that I have as a Chinese mayor, the second proposal is going to be canceling the tipping culture. That's right. How do I do it? You may ask, how do you cancel tipping culture? Everybody who watches the video probably agree that tipping culture is going out of hand. All right, just crazy. Now, so this is what I would do. If you're a restaurant or service industry that relies on customers to pay for your employees, this is what we'll do, right? You should add their salaries into the price of the food. The most disgusting thing, I think, from someone who came from a country that there's no tipping culture, or I would say majority of the world was no tipping culture, is anywhere you go in the world, you know exactly how much you're paying for food. In America, you actually don't, right? In America, if you go to a restaurant, if you know, fancy or not fancy, whatever, you go to a restaurant, it says, okay, it costs you $100 to pay for the food. You actually don't pay $100. You pay another $80 for the tax, and then you're charged for service fee, and then you have to pay tips on top of it. The reason why I say the service fee and tips are separate, because depending on how many people are going for that food, right? But, obviously, a lot of restaurants charge you service fee when there are 6 people. And then on the bill, they're going to ask you another tip again, which is kind of outrageous. But I would just say you just don't know, right? It's a deceiving kind of marketing strategy when restaurants says, oh, our food only costs $30, $40, or $50, $60. But it's not true, because you have to pay another 20 or even higher percentage of tax, not tax, tipping on top of it, and you have to pay tax. So basically, instead of doing that, we're going to make it simpler for everybody, for the consumer's sake, where you now, instead of letting the customer pay for the employee, which it still end up to be the customer paying for the employees, because it's how it works, right? But what we'll do is the restaurant owners or service industry business owners, they would just pay for their employees. So pay your employees a living wage, but charge that all to the final bill. So the customers looking at the bill directly understand how much they're looking to spend if they go to a restaurant like this, right? I hope that makes sense. So basically, if the restaurant's saying, okay, well, 2 people coming to eat, it should be around $100. Instead of saying that, you just say 2 people coming here to eat, it's going to cost you about $140, right? Basically, you add a 20% tax on, not tax, tips in your price menu. So this way, you just pay your employee, right? And before I go, oh, okay, this is $140. Can I not afford it? Let me think about it. If I can afford it, I will still go, right? And then you can just pay your employee directly. This is my strategy of fixing it. Now, obviously, we're still going to charge tax on top of it, right? But this is a lot easier for the customers. Also, a lot more straightforward. Also, solve the awkwardness of checking out. I absolutely hated now the new checking out system where the waiter or waitress come here with a little POS machine, and they stand in front of you and just look to the side. Oh, please, they're just ask you a question. They first charge your credit card and then put a POS machine in front of you. Oh, it's gonna ask you a question, and they just look away, pretending they're not gonna look at the machine afterwards. It's it's the most stupid ass shit I've ever seen in my life, right? Only America has the stupid ass system that just pretend everybody's stupid ass. I had enough of it, right? Basically, instead of doing that, how about you just say the food is $140, and then instead, just don't charge tips. Just call it as it is and pay a tax on top of it. I think that's a lot more fair, and everybody will be agreeing with me on this. Let me know in the comment section if you actually agree or not, right? Or if you have a better solution. But I will be canceling tipping culture completely. We'll ban it by law. If a business want to do business in America, okay, you got to pay your employee with the money you earn from the menu. Basically, whatever you charges should include your employee salary. So you tell the people the actual price of the food instead of the fake price. And then we have to calculate the 20% and deal with this emotional stress of looking at the employee in the eye. Oh, is this guy looking away yet? Oh, she's not looking away. How about you look away first before I, right? 15% instead of 20. And by the way, the tipping culture is getting too out of hand. Austin International Airport, there I think it was Delta or some sort. It was end of the terminal. And then there was it was not a vending machine, but it's a little pop-up shop that sell water and then snacks or whatnot. And there's one employee that sits there and, looking over the POS machines. I bought a bottle of water, and even at the POS machine, it was asking me, do I want to pay 20, 22, or 25% tax? Are you freaking crazy? I grabbed a bottle of water and I'm checking out. I don't want to pay tip on that shit. Dude, it's getting out of hand, and some guy with balls need to come in and solve this issue. I'm not going to do it. I'm just saying, if I'm a mayor of the city, of the city, that's what I'll do. I'll completely cancel the crazy, out of the hand tipping culture where you know exactly what you're paying, just adding a tax on top of it. All right, that's basically what I would do. Again, let me know in the comment section whether I agree with that or not. Number 3, again, this is my third policy now. Okay, very, very important. Will make out-of-state resident not be able to buy houses directly. Basically, we'll protect the local citizens first of Austin. The local resident of Austin's right should be protected. The people who actually pay into the local tax system should be protected. Right now, there is a major trend, not major trend, it's a reality that the local residents of Austin are priced out of the local housing market thanks to the pandemic. That's number 1. And thanks to the fact the California, a lot of people are migrating into Texas, right? And the Texas state are doing nothing to protect the local resident. It's super crazy that is happening. Now, I'll give you a personal anecdotal experience, coming from China. And I think some system can be learned, right? I grew up in a very small town in China. Like, a lot of Chinese people don't even know the city name, to be honest, right? So it's in the central China. And then my sister migrated to Shanghai, the metropolitan. Everybody knows about Shanghai. Everybody in the world knows about Shanghai. And she lives in Shanghai, and she had to go through a very crazy process to earn a residency of Shanghai. That's how she qualified to buy a house there. She had enough money, but she was never able to buy a house for the longest time because she wasn't considered a resident of Shanghai. The reason why China do this is protect the local citizens from not invasion, but from mass migration into the city. And that's literally what is happening in the city of Austin, right? But the difference is, in America, domestic migration is super easy. You can easily move from California to Texas. Easy. Look at what happened in the pandemic. All those engineers who work from home, because they don't have to work in the office anymore, they all moved to Texas. It's so cheap here. Before 2022, I think around 2020, for those who are in Austin, you'll easily relate to this. You go to Mount Bonnell, you look down on Lake Austin, beautiful lake with all these beautiful mansions, right? The houses at the time are probably on the lake, $3 million, you can buy those mansions. Obviously, even then, and the regular citizens in Austin couldn't afford them. But anywhere else, East Austin, even Central Austin, you could afford houses. After the pandemic, after the huge wave of Californians moving to Texas, guess what happened? Nobody can afford shit anymore. People who grew up here, who spent 20 years like me, living in Austin, cannot buy houses here anymore. You just can't. In the places that used to be able to buy houses. The people who grew up here, just listen to Asmongold, right? He talked about all his friends who grew up, born and raised in Austin, can no longer buy the same house in a neighborhood where they grew up in. It's such a sad phenomenon. It's so sad, right? And this is, the city has done nothing to protect the citizens who are born and raised here or spend decades here, contribute to a local tax system, property tax. Yeah, we don't care about you. You can do, we only care about people who give us money. In this case, it's Californians who move to Texas because they make so much more in wherever they're from. AI jobs, they're paying millions of dollars for a year, totally bubbled. Doesn't matter. They get paid a lot of money compared to regular Americans, regular Austin folks, Austinites who don't make that much, right? Here, most of the jobs are just normal jobs. Like 100K here is a lot of money. 100K in LA is you're poor. Right, literally, you're literally poor, right? Because the majority of the money still go to the taxes, so you don't have much left. And consider how expensive everything is you don't have that much money. 100K in Austin, dude, you're living good, right? Not anymore. Well, it's still pretty good, but you have to rent. The thing is, you can't buy houses here anymore with that money, right? If you look around, even the suburbs, all the suburbs, there are only so little master plans are building affordable housing. Everything that's at least decent looking, not even good looking, just decent looking, are starting at 600K. If you're looking, there's still houses at 300K, but you're looking at Buddha, right? Half an hour to 40 minutes drive away from anywhere, So you're looking at super far away, Dripping Springs, all those kind of places. And the houses look ugly as hell. Anything that's decent looking, 700, 800K to start. And that's not talking about adding the lot premiums, all that kind of stuff. You add closing costs, whatever bullshit on top of it, your interest rate. Brother, it's unaffordable for a regular Austinite. So as a mayor who uses common sense, by the way, when I say Chinese, if Chinese immigrant becomes mayor of Austin, we just use common sense. you got to protect the rights of the people who actually pay into the system for years here, right? You got to protect your local citizen above everyone else because that's your job as a mayor. And then my duty is to my own citizens, right? And I would put those rules in to say that, okay, well, the Austinites' rights should be protected. And we will say that if you are moving in from out of state, you first have to rent at least 3 years locally. Rent, right? Doesn't mean you can't live here. You can still come here and work, and we'll encourage that. But you just can't buy a house. You can invest in investment property. That's fine. That's totally fine. You just have to pay much higher taxes for that. You don't, because not a homestead property. You just can't buy a house here. You just can't buy a house here until you have proved you live here for 3 years. It's easy to prove is your renting history, So that's what I would do for the 3 major things for the Austinites, if I'm elected mayor of Austin. I'm not going to do that until 40 years later. My first job right now is to be financially free in my own personal standard, right? To work really hard to become that before anything else. But if I am the mayor of Austin, that's what I'll do, okay? Last but not least, this is the bonus point, which is I will open up city-run night markets, okay? And I want to say city-run night markets is basically just landlord. We're still renting all the properties to all the businesses out, but we'll do more of those to amplify Austin's weird type of great models, okay? Just the vibe. Austin's all about vibe. It's a vibe city. And we're going to make the vibe even more vibey, all right? What I mean by that is, we know Austin loves food trucks. I personally love food trucks. We need to amplify that, make it everywhere, make the nightlife the best nightlife in the freaking world. Everybody want to come to Austin for the nightlife. You come to Austin, you have to experience nightlife. You're going to eat all the food trucks, and even if you eat all the food trucks for every single day, you can't finish all the food trucks because there are way too many. That's what we'll do, right? We'll have city-run night markets to amplify the food truck business here. We'll make it so big that it's almost coming close to the same level of like a small city in China. The reason why I say that is if you ever travel to Chinese cities, any cities, you go anywhere, it's night markets or food markets, food everywhere. We want to have the same type of competition in Austin, and make it so easy to run like night markets, so easy to run food trucks everywhere. And then everywhere it goes, good food, and then there's going to be a lot of jobs created, or robotics be implemented to clean the streets or whatnot, right? But it's going to be such a good vibe every single day. Live music everywhere. Austin's going to become awesome, But obviously without a homeless, because that will be eradicated. The homeless issue, right? We got to respect the people, obviously, because I don't think anyone wanted to be there. Maybe some people will actually voluntarily want to be homeless. But for majority of people who don't want to be there, don't worry. From our policy, we'll help you become normal citizens again, right? We'll either find a cure for you or to help you with the drug problems, or help you get a job for those who actually want to bootstrap themselves back into society, or we'll give you a ticket to for those who actually voluntarily want to be homeless. Well, we'll give you a better place to be, to establish your career in California, because Texas is clearly not a place for it. And then last but not least, which is prison, much better place, guaranteed shelter, guaranteed food, and then you actually have a more of a barbarian culture there, so you can do whatever you want. Within the rules, obviously, within the rules of the prison. But yeah, that's basically what I would establish if Chinese ever become a mayor of Austin. I don't know if that will ever happen, but if that happens, that's what we'll do. Because my fundamental philosophy is we care about the people who contribute towards the city the most, all right? Those people's rights should be prioritized, not saying that other people's rights don't get valued. They all get valued, but it's all about priorities, because we can only do so many things at a time. The people who contribute, obviously, is number one. They should be, prioritized. The people who pay in taxes. Now, how much they contribute doesn't matter. It's all about just contributing. You have to work and be a contributing member of the society. All work are valued equally, okay? Just be a contributing member of society, and we all enjoy the vibe together. Let me know what's your thoughts about those 3 policies that I want to implement, especially the cancel and tipping culture. Get rid of it. Get rid of the toxic culture. The stuff that's like established since slavery, that should be gone in a developed country. What's your thoughts? Let me know in the comment section down below. With that, Sunday is signing off. I'll see you guys all next time. Bye for now.